Russell again right behind him. So both teams very good stops. In fact, maybe Russell's slightly better.
And from the looks of things, all of those guys are going to save their sprint car for tomorrow's 200-kilometre race.
Scapey, that was not a pretty stop for Russell Ingall. The time might have been all right, but they were lucky. They dropped the car early and they had to jack it back up to finish off.
On board now with James Courtney. It's an interesting little pit entry there. You can see how narrow it is. We've had incidents there over the year. I remember Tony Longhurst spun into pit lane there one year. We've had guys run into those tractor tyres. We've had guys run into each other getting into pit lane. It's a pretty hectic and narrow entry.
Now these guys are putting sprint tyres on, so this is
the opposite.
A totally different strategy play. This will potentially make James strong in the back half of the race.
Pit lane's all clear at the moment. You're going to be clear when it drops.
Now, a safety car would give him a free ride and take best advantage of the Dunlop sprint tyre.
He may get something out of this.
Worth a go.
Oh, Will Davison down the inside of Jason Barbagallo. He ran extremely wide. He's possibly put a mark on that tyre. He got through.
That was to take fifth. But still Dave Reynolds is staying in the lead on the sprint tyre, but his lap time now has fallen back to being pretty much line ball with Jamie Whincup on the control in second spot.
He's a nice escape for Russell Ingall. While they were refueling the car, they did actually drop it, as we said, and they jacked it straight back up. Now, the rule says, of course, you can't be refueling a car when it's down off its jacks. They quickly got it back up. Officials are happy with that. There'll be no penalty to Russell Ingall.
He's pretty racy at the moment, Russell. He's got a big go here on guard. Yep, down the pit straight. And he crisscrossed him and makes it stick down at turn one.
Reynolds pitting this time by.
Which then releases Jamie Whincup into the clear lead. Lee Holdsworth's yet to take his stop. Jason Barbagallo hasn't taken his stop. Everybody else pretty much has. Here's that moment I spoke about before. This is the replay from a couple of laps back. He carried it a long way. Initial lock, got off it, and then had to get back on it. They both got carted well wide.
And they're saying over the radio, Neil, that Will's complaining about the tyre, and he's saying that he doubts whether he can make it to the end with that tyre like it is.
I just watched David Reynolds rejoin, and he's still got sprint tyres on, so they've gone for the cross-diagonal strategy to get those tyres home.
On board now with James Courtney, looking at a bit of pedal work. What you'll see at this part of the race, or normally, you would see very, very progressive throttle modulation and brake modulation, but because he's on the sprint tyre, he'll be driving it like qualifying laps in this last part of the race, because he's on the reverse strategy of a lot of the front runners. So look for his speed. The perfect scenario for James Courtney now is a safety car. Been surprised by Russell Ingall. It's a very good performance. HOT cars over the years have been very good here, and Garth Tander, definitely for speed, is not as strong as Russell Ingall. As you can see, Ingall passed him and has moved away as we pick up on James Courtney on the sprint tyre coming at them.
Whincup is back in front. David Reynolds, though, having taken his stop and gone back onto the road, is second on the track. He's just gone by Lee Holdsworth. So could the V8 rookie launch a surprise and make it onto the podium in Perth? Carnabalondo, the champ, still leads the way. Back at Barbagallo, and a V8 rookie, David Reynolds, is up to second in the Vandenberg Red Commodore. Don't forget BitCom Sport, bitcom.com for all of the V8 Supercar action. If you're out and about, you can catch it on your Telstra and XG mobile. But Reynolds sits second in the race, and it's a legitimate second place.
It is, but he's done a lot of laps on the sprint tyre. We'll focus very carefully on his speed, which is still pretty healthy at the moment. They've crossed those tyres, as we've explained. But pay particular notice to Mark Winterbottom and James Courtney, who are on young sprint tyres. For Winterbottom, he's done 10 laps on them. For Courtney, he's done 6 laps on them, and they will be coming like a freight train at the moment.
Yeah, good observation, Neil. What's happened here in pit lane here, because Mark Winterbottom's name is so long, on the screens down here that all the boys are looking at, all the teams, it doesn't actually say after Mark Winterbottom's name that he is on sprint tyres. Look at those times, he definitely is.
Yeah, there was a bit of confusion early because they showed him as starting on them, but he definitely didn't. But he has now gone onto them together with Courtney, so they've both got young sprint tyres. They're blazing. Here's Mark Winterbottom up the inside of Craig Lowndes. That's taken him now to 5th. Next in his gun sights is Will Davison. We're with Russell Ingall. And Russell...
P10 with 10 laps to go, mate. 10 laps to go.
So I've just explained his position to you. He's in front of Stephen Johnson and just behind... where he was behind Murph. He's moved.
And Murphy's trying to get home with the same strategy as David Reynolds, crossing the sprint tyre. Courtney's flying. He took heaps of ground away from Rick last time around. This is for 7th, and it's primary school stuff. He'll just drive straight by.
Primary school stuff.
Simple, easy. You get it?
No, I'm not sure.
He's 5 seconds in front.
Basic.
You are 2 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah, you could do
So
that.
that's Adrian Burgess on the radio just explaining what the margin is, giving him the important gaps so that he can figure out what his next move is, and it's Craig Lowndes that's next in the queue for James. There's the race leader. That's Jason Barbagallo with him, and Bargs is 20th.
Jamie, great driving, mate. Nice work.
So we're going to settle here for a moment, just show you the gaps. Whincup to Reynolds, who hasn't come over the hill. There he is. So that's the Bundy Red entry position 2. 3 is Todd Kelly, car 7. 4 is Winterbottom, and he's in a battle here with Patrizzi, who's down the order. No, that must be Stephen Richards. Yeah, we've jumped the gun on the FPR car, so it's a bigger margin. There he is, tucked in between those two cars. Then it's Will Davison and Craig Lowndes.
Then Courtney. Rick Kelly, Murphy, trying to get home on that sprint tyre.
Race control's also given Stephen Richards a bad sportsmanship flag for blocking as well. That was a couple of laps ago.
That was blocking Todd Kelly at that point, so Todd's past him now and clear. So have a look at this. This is a roller coaster. It's actually hard to really depict how much that falls off that hill, 260 kilometres an hour down the hill, braking hard, and where you can pick Whincup up there now. It's actually slightly uphill as you turn at the corner, and then a weird little pitch straight because it's got a very difficult corner entering it. And here we go. Whincup with those bumps. Let's look for Dave Reynolds. There's Dave Reynolds in the Bundy Red car. Done a ripper job. Great drive. Todd Kelly next. Look for Mark Winterbottom. Up in the background, you can see him just passing Fiore and Jack Perkins. He's up the inside and will get both those guys. Good pass, good job.